Conscious of time, I think we'll get started. I know we're expecting a few more, so welcome to the Helix webinar series. Today's session, and it's an exciting one for some privileged audience. We're going to be focusing on BFSI customers today. So we're going to be covering driving operational excellence in BFSI, unlocking the power of BMC Helix Continuous Optimization. Joining me today and presenting is Komal Padmara. She will do her formal introduction shortly. And then we also have Swayam Dash, our Principal Solutions Engineer. He's going to be providing the demo today. They will do their introductions as we move forward. Before I hand over to Komal and for us to get started, a couple of reminders. We do have the Q&A section in Zoom. If you have any questions during the session and the demo, please put those in there. For now, you will remain muted so we can get through today's content, and then we will have roughly around 15 minutes at the end where we will take the questions live. We are also going to be launching a poll, which I'm going to be sharing very shortly as we get started when Komal introduces herself. And you will find that it will connect to some of the slides that we're sharing today. So please put your questions in, keep it interactive. I'm going to now hand over to Komal to get us started, and we will look forward to speaking to you all at the end. So Komal, over to you to start with the introductions.
Thank you, Sam. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar for driving operational excellence in BFSI using BMC Helix Continuous Optimization. Okay, I am Komal Padmawar. I am product manager for BHCO, that is BMC Helix Continuous Optimization, and as well as I am product manager also for the previous product that we used to have is true site capacity optimization. And today we'll be talking about how BHCO can help in the regulatory compliance and the guidelines that are provided by RBI. So how to, translate them, how to use them, okay? And features that are available in BHCO, how to use them for that purpose, okay? So to start that, okay, let me talk about the very briefly about the agenda. So first we will go through the challenges or the guidelines, guidelines that are provided by RBI and the challenges that the banks are facing today while adhering to those RBI mandates. And we will go through the BHCO overview, very high level and key use cases, differentiating use cases. And then Swayam will be doing the demo for the same use cases that I'm going to talk about. And then we'll briefly touch upon couple of customer stories to give you confidence that how customers are using BHCO and how they are getting the value. So to start with, so these are the mandates that we are seeing from RBI that is getting, provided and ask organizations or banks like you to follow them, right? So what they are asking is management should manage the capacity as a key component, ensure adequate resources for the current and future needs, right? You can read about them and you know about them. So how to translate and what are the challenges that the bank has to face while adhering to these mandates? So what it translates to, it means how to plan proactively, not only for the current needs that you have, but for the future business needs or demands that are going to come and the technological changes that are happening in the market, how to be aware about those, how to plan those changes and be be ready for those changes. Second is aligning IT capacity. So we have seen many of times, so many strategies are coming up in the organizations, right? For example, cloud first strategy, multi-cloud strategy, or the entire infrastructure migration strategy. These are all strategies that keep coming up, and organizations or banks needs to align their IT capacity to these strategies. Then the third one is operational resiliency, right? This is the most important one. At any point in time, you cannot afford to have any outage or any saturation risk there, right? You have to have enough capacity to ensure your business continuity. So that's the most important one, and you have to be ready for that. Then the managed third party risk, you keep using lot of third party tools, that third party libraries, software, and not only your business and the application that should be running finely, but you have to keep managing the third party tools that you are using, right? So you need to know those, you need to know the risk involved in that, and maintain your technology up to date, right? So with this, what banks has to do is they have to know how much guidelines or they are following as per provided by RBI. Are they good enough? Are there any gaps that they need to fill in to, while providing these or while adhering to these mandates, or can they do minimal, right, to to satisfy these auditing or compliance requirements? And at the same time, can we streamline the process of regulation so that we are running our business with the optimal optimization and operational efficiencies? So that are those are the challenges that are posed by RBI, right, that banks are facing. But apart from that, when we are also talking to our customers, so and this is the trend, or this is the typical situation that we are seeing at the customer end. So IT demand, when you see, it's always continuously increasing. It's not in the steps, right? But the supply that you get from IT team, or when IT teams provides the resources, it's always in a step, right? When you see demand coming, they increase the resources or procure new infrastructure and increase, but that is a step process, right? And then some. So in that one, what you generally observe is either you are over allocated, meaning investing your infrastructure, not utilizing it completely, or you have short of infrastructure where this risk of outages can be seen. So what we think is, as a solution provider, that supply should always matches with the demand, right? So when, if it is continuously increasing, your supply should be also very aligned to that demand. So this is one of the situation we are facing. So if you translate that, so these are the typical scenarios that we are seeing. So the first one here, as you can see, I mean, I have a nice road, very empty. I mean, it's a very good looking for the eyes, but it's not utilizing, right? Even though I built nice road, but if it is not getting utilized, that means I have already wasted my money, right? There is no efficient use of that resource. A second scenario could be, I have, I mean, traffic jam, right? All so many vehicles on the road and there is no space, typically looking like Mumbai traffic jam or Delhi traffic jam, right? So yeah, no more resources, and that is increasing my risk of service outage. Our third scenario, and this is very typical scenario with any organization, is some of the services have congestion. There is no resources left to use in their in their some projects or services where a lot of resources are there, but they are not getting utilized. So, and this is also aligned with the surveys, or when we are talking to the different customers, this is the same uh, challenges or the statistic that we are seeing. So 10% of the companies, they are doing some solid capacity planning, and they are some of them are saying, okay, one out of three failures is due to because of the infrastructure shortages. So I'm not going to talk about all the statistics, but that is aligned with what we are seeing along, I mean, also at the customer end. So that's where BHCO comes in, right, to solve all these challenges. So I think this is the best time for you to go back to and answer the first question in the poll, right? So this is about what practices are you using to align with the RBI mandates. Okay. Now, Going ahead, before I start what BHCO does, what it offers, how you can use it, I would like to talk about high-level view of what Helix platform is, as BHCO or continuous optimization is part of the AI Ops platform. So it is mandatory that all our products in this portfolio has to be on this platform, which provides common services as well as AI engine, very robust AI engines. All the AI ML capabilities come from the platform, and not only that, but it also provides the common data storage. So anything uh, collected by any product is shared by all other products in the portfolio, right? So on the left hand side, you can see we have discovery product, which discovers the environment. Then we have observability and AIOps products, where you can collect the all the infrastructure data and monitor your infrastructure. And then we have automation to remediate your problems, or the recommendations that we are providing in BHCO, and continuous optimization on the right. So yeah, so the platform is there to share the knowledge between all the products, as well as the data collected in or context topology information. Everything that is collected in each product is shareable among all the products, and we talk the same language, same context, right? At the same time, we can also install continuous optimization as a standalone alone product as well, along with the platform. So it's not mandatory that you have to buy all of that. But if it is a complete suite, then it talks the same language and it provides much more benefits than having the standalone. Now let's talk about BHCO. So we have already seen what are the challenges and how BHCO can help. So here, five of the use cases that we have mentioned. So one is regulatory compliance. So it is nothing but, you can build your reports, you can have your utilization visibility, and whatever the mandates that are mentioned, you can create those reports and have that visibility. Predictive service management again help you with the future demands and how you align your IT resources along with that future demands. You can simulate the scenarios for your service, the capacity planning. Talk more about that in the coming slide. Then service or cloud migration and Kubernetes what if simulation. Again, any events that is going to come, you can simulate that event. You can simulate the cloud migration or the service migration within the product. Then not only that, but recommendations, right, and automation. So we not only report on what is happening with your infrastructure, but how to fix that, how to give me the recommendation to fix those issues, and as well as automation to run the automation and fix the entire issue, right? And the last but not the least is self-service capacity views and dashboards. So it's not only, most of the time the teams themselves are working on the capacity side, right? So services team or the application teams, some of the guys are within the team is spending their time to create what is the capacity or what is the utilization of my infrastructure, the infrastructure that is assigned to that services and application. A lot of time they are spending on it. So that's why we have come up with self-service views, where you can build your own view. So the data is already there in the tool. You just build your own view and know your capacity. So these are the use cases, and along with that, these are the values that you receive. So first thing is visibility. You will get to know what you own, how you are utilizing it, right? Are you utilizing it optimally against what is allocated to you? So all that information you will get with this tool, right? Second, again, forecasting and modeling. So what you have today, and are you satisfying the current demands, or as well as how you going to satisfy the future demands. If any event is going to come, then how you align the resources to cater to that demands, right? The forecasting, the modeling, right? So if any event is going to come, or you want to migrate your workload, how do you model it, right? How do you plan for that event for, or plan for that migration? So modeling will help with that. Then saturation prediction, out of the box, we provide saturation prediction upfront for next 90 days. So you will know whether your infrastructure is enough, running smoothly or not. And last but not the least is, if you are over allocated, you are not utilizing your infrastructure properly, there is a room for right sizing. You can do that with this tool. So that is the value you get with BHCO. Now let's again deep dive into some of the key use cases which I was talking about. So capacity planning, that is the most basic one that we provide with it. And that is what RBI mandate is also saying, right? Align, manage your capacity as a key component. It's not a side thing, right? It's a main key component. You have to aware what you own, how you are utilizing, and how to plan it for better business continuity, right? So this is where capacity planning helpful, where we provide out of the box views, the self-service dashboards, analysis, modeling, all that helps you to achieve your capacity planning, right? Second, again, self-service view. So we have Grafana based dashboarding solution where we have exposed all the BHCO data. You can build your views, view or dashboard for your stakeholders, because there are different teams at the same time. They want to know what is the capacity assigned, how I'm utilizing, is there room for optimization. So all these are the questions that every team needs to keep answering, and they have to have their own view, right? Own dashboard to work with, and that's where self-service capacity views helps. Then the optimization, right? Kubernetes is the next technology that every organization is adapting. They are moving their workloads to Kubernetes, and it's very complex technology. So you understanding it, how what you are utilizing, how you are allocating the resources, how you are managing the settings of request limits, of CPU requests and limits on those components. And is there room for optimization, or is there any service that is going to be overutilizing the resources? So all that is very difficult to know with the without any using a tool, or without using doing it in Excel. It's very difficult for Kubernetes kind of infrastructure. It's a very difficult technology, and that's where we help. Fourth one is cloud migration simulation. Again, so if you want to move your workloads or your infrastructure from maybe on premises to cloud, from one cloud to other cloud, or for one technology to other technology, these simulation use cases will help you to understand what it will cost you with particular cloud, or for maybe again on demand instances if you are using, or a 1 year reservation, 3 year reservation. At the same time, you can also know that what is the matching machine out there in the other technology for the technology you're migrating from, right? So all this information is very easy, accessible, and in the tool to use this simulation and know what is going to happen if you migrate this workload to the cloud or other technology. Next, again, regulatory compliance. So as we maintain long historical data, like 2 years in SaaS, but for on-premises, it could be more than that as per your requirement. So we have all auditing requirement, what has been done, when the changes were happened, all these audit requirements, as well as the aligning your IT resources to the business demands, knowing your technologies, what technologies you were using earlier, whether they are up to date or not. All these regulatory compliance, you can create these reports based on all the data that is available within the tool. So it helps you a lot with those compliance reports. And last but not the least is predictive service management. So it helps you to predict and plan your future requirements actually. So if any event is going to come, or you're going to migrate your again services, then how to simulate that, how to plan that ahead of time so that you are ready for those changes and you are able to manage that risk very efficiently. So let's okay, so before deep diving into the use cases, this is the benefits and values that our customers are seeing today with the product. Okay, with capacity planning, reporting, and speed, we have seen 50+% of increase in the operational efficiency. So it enhance your experience in the planning and maintaining your regulatory compliance. Predictive service management kind of feature helps you to increase the service reliability, right? So it means less outages. And what we have seen in many of the customers, 100% reduction in capacity related outages at least. And then optimization, definitely it helps you to decrease your capex cost. You can defer your capex investment by 40 to 60%. So this is the value. Now let's talk about the features and the use cases and how they are, can tie back to the RBI mandates. So plan proactively. What they are mentioning is you should be ready for your future needs so that you don't see any outages. So how to do that? So predictive service management is one of the feature. It is a differentiator within BHCO, which you can use. So how it helps? So what we do is not only from infrastructure perspective, but with BHCO, we are showing capacity impacts or capacity utilization from a service or business service perspective. So what does that mean? So business service is nothing but the business that you are providing to your users, right? So for banks, it is online banking, insta banking, loan, demat accounts, right? All those functions that you provide within bank, all this is your business, right? And we are able to define those business services, and you can see the capacity utilization from that perspective. Now how it helps, right? So we also help you to give us the information of how the load is happening. So how many users are connecting, how many transactions are happening, how many debits are happening, how many credits are happening. All that information you can provide, and based on that we correlate against like load versus the performance. So the load is again nothing but number of users that are connecting, and the performance is resource performance, CPU utilization, memory utilization, and all that. We do correlation in the back end, we do extrapolation, we do forecasting on top of it. All these algorithm has been applied, and based on that we predict how much more growth can be supported with the current allocated capacity. Okay, so this will help you whether you have enough capacity for how much growth, right? So maybe for your today you're saying 100 millions of users are joining your insta banking accounts or service, but you still have room for maybe 100% more growth, right? So you still have that much of room or growth to support. So that view is upfront out of the box within the tool itself. You don't have to do anything. Every jobs runs in the background nightly, or you can schedule that as per your requirement. And all this information is upfront in front of you on the front page. And so I will show you how it looked like. Okay. And at the same time, we also show if there are any saturation is going to come for a business service. So for Insta banking, if the resources are overutilized, and if saturation is going to come within the next 90 days. So that thing is also available out of the box once we get all the information. So that is one part of it. Now, second part is how to simulate the future demand, right? So, for example, you are introducing in the loan application, maybe you are introducing some other product altogether with some less percentage, or some new scheme is coming up, and because of that, number of loans that bank is going to issue is going to increase. So here again, number of loans could be one of the business drivers of load on the system. So definitely that will increase the load by for number of users visiting your website, as well as the number of loans. So how much percentage, so you can roughly calculate, okay, maybe I'll be seeing 1000% growth in the number of users that are joining, and maybe 100% or 200% more number of loans that are issuing. So do I have enough capacity to support this new load or not? So such kind of situations, or such kind of events, you can simulate with the what if simulation, and you will able to understand if you will be needing more resources or not. So there is this what if simulation which helps you to understand where the congestion would be, what needs resources you need to add, and we'll provide the recommendation also to come out of that risky situation. So how to avoid that situation, and so I will show you how to do that. So that is plan proactively. Now, second important thing is operational resiliency, right? There shouldn't be any saturation coming up. There should be no outages. Your business should run continuously, right? That's the most basic expectation from any business right, customers, and when you're providing the businesses. So again, business services view that we talked about, it already show you if there are any saturations that is going to come in the business services. So that is from a business perspective, but also at the infrastructure level. So we have different technological views, right? Where we have separate tab to show you what all recommendations are outstanding. And in there, we also predict if there is a saturation is going to come on any infrastructure component. It could be virtual machine, it could be host, cluster, and we identify those saturations upfront, and we provide the alerts on it. So you come to know beforehand if there is going to be a problem, and you can plan for that risk, right, if it is going to be. So that is ensuring the operational resiliency. Then align IT capacity. So there could be many situations and many things that you might be doing. For example, sometimes you change the technology, migrate your VMs from one technology to another technology, or you upgrade your infrastructure, you consolidate the data center, you split the data center. So those many scenarios that are there. So you need to know, you have to analyze first that what is happening, right? How you are utilizing what you own, where do you own, what technology you own. So you need to know, so analyze all those things. Now, modeling those, data according to your requirement, according to your business needs, and then of course the forecasting. So you should be able to forecast it in the future to know what is going to happen. So based on all these things, you will be able to align your IT capacity based on your business strategies that are going to be initiated, or it is in the process of initiation, right? So there, how BHCO will help you to align your IT capacity for those purposes. Now, manage your risk and technology. So again, as I was saying this, there are self-service dashboards or out-of-the-box dashboards and reports that BHCO provide. But as I was saying, that is Grafana-based dashboarding capabilities that we have, which is excellent tool for visibility. You can create your own dashboards as per your requirement. Either IT team creates those dashboard, or capacity planners do that, or even teams, application team or service team, they can go and create their own dashboard as per their requirement as all the capacity data is exposed in this. So here you can create your technology specific or overall data center level dashboard as well, to know how many technologies you are using, what you are using, and whether any technology needs to be discontinue or deprecate and move to other technology. this is best, I mean, dashboarding and reporting is best place to create these reports. Not only that, but we have examples from the customer where they have created green IT dashboard as well, where they are exposing what is their energy consumption, what is their energy cost, what is the CO2 emission level, right? All those also is possible with the dashboard. So that's the, I mean, with this, you will be able to solve your technology out of date technologies issue or third party tool risk issue, all that you'll be able to handle with this. Now it's time for the demo and also time for the poll, or second question for the poll. And it's better you go and answer that question. And with that, I will hand over to Swayam.
Okay, thank you so much, Komal, for that. So again, just a request, please look at the questions that are there in the poll and make sure that, you give it a spin. And obviously, while we are presenting, feel free to post your questions in Q&A and, we'll pick it up as the session progresses. So now, Komal, I will be sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. So you all heard what Komal said, right? And many of us, we think that capacity is a practice that needs to be done one time, right? So, but the way we look at it is, the way I look at it is capacity is like hitting the gym, right? You have to do it regularly. You have to do it as a part of the process. And of course, you have to follow a set of standards so that it allows you to reach your goals. Right. So just like what we do in real life, right? There's a certain set of standards and processes that we define, we follow them, and then we reach our, let's say, our fitness goals, right? So the same thing. So if we want to get fitter in terms of technology, we set a process, we use a tool, and then we get to our capacity goals, right? And this becomes a regular process, right? It's not a one-time activity that we do and then we end with that. So having said that, one of the first things is, how do I get the visibility of capacity across my infrastructure? And that's where BHCO helps you, right? If you look at my screen right now, you will see that we have a business services view, which gives you an ability to look at which are those items that you need to focus on. So if you look at it, we have some items, we have around 16 business services. Now, this business service that you're seeing, this comes from BMC Discovery, which means the same business service is used across AIOps, used across ITSM and capacity as well. And that's why this is important, right? Being part of the platform, we are able to leverage the same data in different ways, giving you different outcomes, right? And having said that, if you look at it, we have 16 business services, and then you can see that some of them have no saturation. There's nothing that I need to do. And then it gives you a view of, a timeline view of when you need to act. And we can see that there are some services which needs to be acted upon right now, right? So this gives me a very good view of how capacity is across my infrastructure. And also the different business drivers that I'm having across different services, like example, catalog items, unique users, etc. It also gives me a visibility of what sort of growth is there across these business drivers. So if I see that received tickets is at 0%, then that's something really important to me. I can just, drill down into that particular metric and then get a deeper view of what's happening, how's the pool, which business driver that belongs to, and which business service that belongs to, and so on. One important thing that we can do here is also a what if analysis, right? So if I take an example, let's say I drill down into one of the business services, let's say IT EMEA, and then I get a very good view of what's happening across the business service, and assume that I want to see how long can I stretch it, So it's good now. There is some amount of risk on the CPU side. This is what my application looks like, right? This is what these are what my different pools. But then, I can also do a what if simulation to understand how long can I stretch it, right? How long can I leg it on this particular infrastructure? So what I can do for that is I can do a what if simulation, right? So right here, getting into the what if simulation. So assume that you did not have a tool, right? And you were suddenly asked that what if your number of, let's say, page views, for example, right? And we can see that the page views, the current value, the supported value, and what's the supported growth percentage, which is 259%. Now assume you are at 200 and that's what your service supports today. But what if it becomes 1000%? So what do? Should I just 5x all the infrastructure? So, this is the infrastructure I have today. I have two VMs of the EMEA pool, and then I have a server here, and then I have virtual servers, etc. Right? All of that is visible here. So how do I answer this question? Should I just 5x everything? Because typically, if there's no tool, that's some of what some of us would do. We assume that, okay, if I'm running at, let's say the current infrastructure supports 2x growth, and if I double it, it will support 4x growth, and so on. Right? But with the tool, what can happen is we can calculate this very, very accurately. So one of the things I can do is I can put a forecast period for a timeline. Of course, this is on demand, but you can do it, on a continuous basis as well. So let's assume that I put a forecast period for 12 months. And then what I do is, let's just give it a moment to load. And then what I do is assume that I have a go live coming up, and that go live is going to come up in the month of October, right? And the 1st of October is when my application is going to go live, and I give it a name. So let's call it default. And then I say that my growth percentage is going to be 1000, right? It could be anything. And then I apply this growth project, and I say apply the growth projection as well. Look at how it's going to grow. So you can see that there is a sudden spike that's going to happen here based on the data that we are seeing previously, because that's when my application is going to go live. And I do OK. And once I do OK, what the tool will do is the tool will actually correlate all the different attributes, the infrastructure attributes with the business attributes, and then it will show you what exactly is going to happen, right? So instead of saying 5x everything, you can actually see that we only need to increase the web pool because page views are actually served by the web and application server, right? So that's an understanding that the tool has derived mathematically, right? If I was an expert, probably I would have been able to tell that. But if I'm not, let's say I'm a capacity manager and I'm an infra guy and I don't know how this is happening, the tool can easily tell you where you need to scale out. So it's telling you the web pool goes from 1 to 6 and the EMEA pool goes from 2 to 4. So 5 servers added to the web pool and 2 servers added to the IT EMEA pool. And once you say apply, it redoes that model. So it simulates it again, and then it gives you a view of what's exactly going to happen. So as soon as we make this change from October onwards, we are good for the next 12 months. And you can see it's not just page views that are now supported greater than 1000% as a growth number. We are also able to support other operations. So whether it's backend, orders received, visits, and so on and so forth. And it gives you a clear view of how, what sort of infra you need to add. So you can see the number of VMs increasing from 2 to 4. So we have doubled the CPU. The memory goes from 177 to 354. Storage goes from 200 to 390 and so on, right? So this gives me a clear cut view of how I need to support the growth that I'm seeing across the services. And this is a manual what if that I did. And I could leave this in the background happening automatically and telling me that, okay, this is how you're going to run out of capacity, let's say in the next 6 months, right? And it can continuously keep churning this and telling me when I need to come back and review those numbers and answer that question with respect to capacity. Other than that, if we look at, so this is one of the ways, right? The what if simulation. What if I want to look at, different parts of my infrastructure, right? So we just addressed the application problem. How do I address the infrastructure problem, right? So BHCO does capacity planning across the infrastructure. So if you look at the views page here, I was in the business services view showing you the what if simulation, but we do everything from cloud to container to servers, virtualizations, network, storage. You can do your own analysis as well, right? And towards the end, I will show you that you can do analysis, you can do, you can meet, let's say, your carbon neutrality goals by importing those metrics in and comparing them with how your infrastructure is performing. So coming back to the infrastructure discussion, so let's say we are looking at virtual machines, and in virtual machines, it can give me a clear-cut view of what the future saturations are, right? And this it is doing automatically. All I've done is connected BHCO to my VMware or Hyper-V or Nutanix or any other virtualized environment that you have. And these recommendations will start happening automatically. And the same thing goes for the recommendations as well, right? So it's telling you, why don't you reconfigure this VM? So there's a VM that's underutilizing CPU. Why don't you reconfigure that VM? This has some old snapshots. You could delete it and reclaim capacity, right? So like I said, capacity is about a holistic practice that you need to perform. It's not just about what I need to plan for the future, but what do I have currently, and can and the bucket that is available currently with me, can I maybe optimize that bucket and use it elsewhere without having to procure capacity externally, right? That's what the tool is answering. And if we drill down into any one of these, right, it gives us very good recommendations. So A, it gives you a complete picture of the VM, but B, it also tells you what's happening. So for example, it says that if you want to stay within your capacity limit, you need to add 3 GB of storage to be under your limit for the next 90 days. So storage is the element that needs to be added to this VM to get rid of the capacity risk for this particular VM. And the same thing for over allocated. So it also notices that you have over allocated this VM. Probably that's something that you need to take a look at as well, right? And the same thing goes on. So let's say I did it for virtualize. Let's look at containers. Now, Komal was mentioning containers, really, really difficult technology because, of the way it is, that there's microservices, there's nodes, pods, namespaces, and whatnot. But what if we could make it simple, right? We give you a view of how your clusters are doing, how you're doing from a capacity standpoint, how you're doing from a CPU standpoint. You could do it from a nodes point of view or a pod's point of view as well. And my favorite feature, what if we could just recommend what you need to do so that you don't have to go through all of that number crunching? For example, I can just tell you that you have these over allocated containers, right? You need only 2.35 cores, and you can reclaim these many cores across your different containers that you have allocated. So you really don't need that many CPU that you're actually using today, right? And this is a recommendation we are giving you out of the box. You don't have to really do any fine tuning. All you have to do is connect it, get the data in. And if you are already a part of the platform, that data will come in automatically from the other resources, for example, BHOM, right? And we can do the same thing across, let's say, storage or network or virtualization. One of the things that Komal also talked about is the migration simulation. So if you are actually looking at a hybrid infrastructure, you are migrating from an on-premise infrastructure to the cloud, and I'm sure you might have cost partnerships with different cloud providers. It's a one-kick simulation migration that you need to do, right? Of course, there's a one-time configuration that you need to do with respect to the cost model that you are having as a partnership with the cloud provider. But once you do that, configuration, it's a one-click migration, and it clearly shows you what sort of costs you are going to incur across your different partnerships. And you can change the region as well, right? So if it's beneficial for you to move to a region A than region B because the costs are cheaper there, that is also something that you can visualize directly. Moving on to the dashboarding bits. Now, you saw that these are some of the views, right? These are out of the box views that we provide, wherein you don't have to, all you have to do is plug it to the data source and it populates. But what if I need customized dashboards, right? Since we are a part of the Helix platform, there could be a dashboard which you want to build, which combines data from, let's say, service management or monitoring, and you want to combine that data with capacity. So since we are in the same platform, we can use the same Helix dashboards engine to basically combine all that data together. And then you can have customizable dashboards such as this. And anything and everything is customized. So if you don't like the color, you don't like the pattern, you don't like how this is shown to you, all of this is customizable. And you can really have true service ops dashboards, which combines operations and services data across the platform and gives you a single view, including capacity, right? So for example, you might have seen the cloud view. So I'll just go back and show you the cloud view. So this is the out of the box view that we provide. But let's say you want a view which combines all that data that you see in the 4 tabs together. All you could do is you could produce a view like this, which combines all that data into a single view and then gives you that output. In addition, for people, let's say you are a capacity manager and you want to do deep dive capacity, you want to create your own analysis, you want to put in what if events, and you want to create, let's say, customized reports, customizing the logo and whatnot, so that, and that's a scheduled report, let's say a by exception report, wherein you only want to look at resources which are saturated. So BHCO supports all of that, and the reporting component is actually really, really powerful. So we are in the workspace section right now, and as you can see, we clearly demarcate the domains that we have across different technologies, and the services and applications that you see, this will sync. If you have services and applications that you have created in BMC Discovery or AI Ops, that will sync into BHCO as well, right? So you don't have to really create these services again. So this will be dynamic, which means as and when the service adds or removes any CIs, those will get populated here as well, right? From the reporting standpoint, very, very simple, but very powerful. So if I want to, we have analysis and models that we provide. And if we take an example of, let's say, the hierarchy structure here, and this is for storage, all I need to do is, let's say if I want to create an analysis, I go to the add work section, and there we have analysis, model, and report. So if I say add analysis, there's a wizard that will come up. It will guide you through. So you can say all systems business drivers in the container domain, or you can say domain and subdomains, that is go one level down. So let's just go with what is default for now. You can select the type of analysis that you want to do. Remember, this is dependent on the data. In this particular structure, we only have time. So that's why it's logged on. The other options are actually grayed out. And sorry, I'll just go back to the right domain. Yeah. So if I go here and I do that add analysis again, you can see it has locked down the options that are available to me. So you can see that performance versus time analysis is available. I say next. I select one of the predefined templates, or you can use your own template as well. So I'm going to, let's say, select one of these templates, storage pools consumed capacity, because this is a storage device. And then I say next, and I can select the timeline that I want. BHCO can go from a very detailed profile to a daily, monthly, weekly profile as well, depending on what sort of granularity you want to look at. So for now, let's leave it at automatic. And then you can apply a time filter. All of these. So let's say if you want a custom time filter of 15 days, it is entirely possible, right? So these are just out of the box time filters that we provide, but you can create your own as well. And finally, we give it a name. I'll just leave it at default for now. And I execute this particular analysis. And once this analysis executes, you'll actually see the output here. And this is what the analysis is looking like, right? The same thing can be done for models as well. So just in the interest of time, I mean, I can create, of course, one and show you, but I have already created one, and let me show you that. So this is a model that I have created. Again, the same way you get into the works page, and you just do a add works, add model, and then there are 3 models that we support. You do a forecasting model, and then you go on from there. So in the interest of time, I'll just show you what the output looks like. So what I did was I took a model, I gave it some inputs, and I put a what if scenario. I said, what if there's a 10% increase that is going to happen in what you are seeing as a forecast? So accordingly, the model redid the figures, and I can clearly see that these are my different storage pools. And it is showing me the ones that are in green, absolutely no problem. Ones in yellow, of course, they are close to the violation, but they are not still violating. But the one in red is where I'm really concerned about, because that's what is going to hit that capacity threshold, which means I might need to procure more, more storage if it's going to grow by 10% year on year, right? And the same thing, we can simulate that as well here. By creating our own model, and then you can play around to your heart's content, looking at all that information, adding those what if values, looking at what scenarios could happen, looking at the best case, the average case, the worst case scenarios where you are good for capacity from all aspects. Last but not the least, this is a report that I created, wherein I imported metrics for a ESG Green IT dashboard, and this is the sample report that I'm showing you. Again, reports are very easy to create using the report wizard, just like how we did the analysis. There's a report wizard that will be there, and it will guide you through the process step by step. And this is the sort of view that you can actually get. And this is one of the views that Komal showed as well. And you can see the number of VMs, vCPUs, what sort of utilization they are having, and correlate this with the CO2 emissions. So thereby creating a custom view wherein you looking at your data center capacity, not just from a capacity standpoint, but from a green IT standpoint as well. So that will be it from my end. Komal, I'm handing it back over to you.
Let's talk about a couple of customer stories quickly, and then we'll go over the Q&A. So, okay, so this is one of our customer in US, and they have started using, they are long-term customers. So they were using BHCO, then later on migrated to BHCO. And with BHCO, they have able to, the main advantage what they were telling us is having the ability to centralize, standardize, and continuous capacity planning and optimization process in place. For that, I mean, they were able to extend their services to 768 applications within their organization. And with that, they were able to realize $30 million dollars in a cost avoidance itself. So with 27 million for business continuity, meaning avoiding the capacity related outages, and 1.7 million in right sizing, meaning they were having a lot of wasted infrastructure, they could right size it, and reporting automation, I mean the self-service dashboards that we are talking about, so they were able to create that. So I was saying, right, there could be different teams out there and their requirements to see the data in their point of view is different. So every time it's difficult for IT team to build their build this dashboard according to the requirements. So what they extend this tool for their to their users, and users can create their own dashboards. So with this entire thing, they were able to extend their businesses to the end users by increase by like 5 million new members were added to their business. So they were using their services. So that is the new business value, right, altogether. And as well as the audit credit, right? They also have to follow these auditing requirements or compliance. And so, I mean, they were, ready for government compliance for that. So, and another is our public reference. It's a nationwide building society bank in UK, and Peter Norris is, capacity manager there. He's looking after entire IT infrastructure. The challenges that he said was before BHCO, they were using custom built solution, which was very difficult to maintain, difficult to extend, right, for the new technologies and new challenges that they face, right? It's very difficult to maintain that your own build solution. As there was no centralized process, siloed approach were used, and again, getting that visibility within the product is difficult, right? Or without a tool is difficult. So those were the challenges that they are facing. And with BHCO, they get the benefit. It's like they got one view where they can see the entire IT infrastructure, how they are utilizing, and it's very easy now to do even long-term planning, medium-term planning, right? For the requirements or business demands that are coming up. So, and also the specific point that they called out is they have reduced their triage time from 2 days every week to just 1 hour every week. So that's a huge saving on the time side, right? You can use your time for better business requirements, right? Satisfying business requirements than other things. So again, with that, they also mentioned that they have, with the business continuity and operational excellency, they are able to increase their business or reach their business to 16 million users now. So those are the mention that we want to put out there for you to increase your confidence that they are customers, they are public references which are using our product very efficiently, and we hope BHCO will also help you to achieve your goals. With that, I would hand over to Sam.
Yeah, actually, I just want to give a little bit of an update on the polling. So thank you for those that have filled it in. We had well over half that have. And I know, Swayam, you were quite keen to see what people's responses were. So let me just quickly go through those because we've only got one question left in the Q&A. How are you currently managing RBI mandates around capacity? And we had 13% that put who is RBI. Then we had 19%, which was no specific practice or tools in place. Then we had Excel is my go-to friend for such needs, 34%. And then comprehensive tool and processes in place, 75%. So that's really good news. And I will share, obviously, this feedback out to everyone. That was for question 1. And then question 2 was which of these
Sam?
key... Yep.
So
Sorry.
just to eliminate the mystery for the first 13%
Okay, go for it.
of what RBI is.
Okay.
So RBI is Komal?
Yeah, so we just put out there that as a, just a humor, saying
It was a humor.
you are not even following any RBI mandate, even though you know RBI, but you're not following it. So you're just asking, who's RBI? I don't know. I'm not following it. So it was for that humor purpose.
It was a trick question. Thank you, Yaron. We didn't obviously put the answers in there because otherwise people would already know. And then the second question, because I know we're running out of time, was which of these is a key benefit of BMC Helix Continuous Optimization that was highlighted in the presentation? So this is a bit of a test to see that if you were watching the presentation. So we had 38%, which was the increase in number of capacity-related outages. A decrease in operational efficiencies was 34%. Deferred capital expenditures, CapEx, was 41%, and then the highest was an increase in average server utilization to over 90%. So that was 45%. And then our final question, and Swayam, you'll be pleased to know that the all of the above was the highest one. So I won't go into all of the response percentages, but the question was based on the customer stories, what are the key benefits of implementing BHCO? And everyone, most of the percentage went to all of the above. So I thought I'd share that. Okay. We are literally almost on the hour, so I am going to just give people a few minutes if they wanted to stay a little bit longer and you had questions. So I think we've answered all the questions, although there is something that's come in saying for endpoint, what is the best product? So I don't know, Komal, you're on, or Swayam, who wants to answer that question while I start unmuting everyone.
For endpoint, what is the best product? Can someone elaborate? It's anonymous.
Maybe whoever asked a question, because I'm not sure we understand exactly what this person is asking. I mean, for endpoint, if you mean where the data is coming from, so we have a very, very vast coverage of different data sources and different ETLs. Some of them come out of the box from BMC Helix. Others come from some of our partners. So essentially, we have not had a situation yet where there was data that we wanted to bring in and we couldn't, just because of the very, very broad technology stack that we support. But I encourage, again, whoever asks this question, because they ask anonymously, but I'm more than happy to have a conversation. So please reach out to your BMC Helix representative, if it's your account manager or customer success that you're working with, and we'll be happy to set up a call and have a deeper discussion into this.
Great, thank you. And I know there was a couple of questions about sharing the content and the recordings. We do actually have a Q&A, and also the recording will get sent out on a thank you email. And if you spend just a few minutes, there is a survey, and in there is a question. If you do have any further questions or need some assistance, I will make sure that that goes to the right person. So if it's not this team that's on this session today, we will make sure we'll reach out to your representative. Okay, do we have any final questions? You are unmuted if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, close the call. And I don't know if there was anything else, final thoughts from you're on, Komal or Swayam, while we're waiting to see if anyone's got final thoughts.
You're on mute.
Yeah, not the first time. So I just wanted to thank everybody for joining and thank Komal and Swayam for a great session. And if there are any final questions, please do share them now.